Hello and welcome to Produce Talks, the CPMA podcast. I am your host and CPMA Education Manager, Jason Gorley. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can subscribe on iTunes or Google Play Store or Blueberry. Or, if you have a BlackBerry, we're available on Nobex. Alright, it's now time to listen into part 2 of the conversation Lemaire, president of CPMA, had with Mike Furi from the Grocery People, who is the current CPMA past chair, and Sam Silvestro from Walmart Canada, the new CPMA chair. They're discussing the role of CPMA chair and the direction of the organization.
As you move from CPMA chair to your role for the next year as past chair, do you have any pointers that you can give Sam, our incoming chair for 2016-2017?
Sam, you're in for a great ride. You've been in this business long enough. You know that things are changing on a dime constantly. But one of the things that I found vital to maintaining the association and moving it forward is to be able to listen to everybody. Not everybody has the same voice. Some people want to make sure they're talking to you on a phone call, on a one-on-one. Some are prepared to have that open conversation. And it's making sure that all of our files are being focused on, not just our own personal favorites. As I mentioned before, advocacy is mine. So obviously I kept pushing on the advocacy, but the importance of the education committee, the importance of Half Your Plate, the importance of the CGIM, the importance of all of those different committees, it's not losing focus and being involved in all of it. It's time consuming, but it's extremely rewarding when you're able to understand our industry so much better at the end of the day.
Well, Mike, thanks for those helpful hints. The nice part about all of this is that we do have each other, and we can always fall back on one another. When there's something that comes up, Mike, as the past chair, I'm certain I'll be giving you a call and looking for some advice. So thank you for all of that.
I'm always willing to talk to you, Sam. Ron and I were having a conversation earlier this morning or yesterday. I can't even remember now, but a situation that's come up and the reference we've had is that I'm moving to the bullpen. I'm still on the playing field, but I'm just going to be in the bullpen. So whenever you need a relief pitcher, call me.
No problem. I'll be calling.
And you know what, guys? And I think that's what really is the success and the foundational value of what CPMA is all about. And our past chairs, we joke around the board that, the past chairs, the chair moves to the past chair role, and the next chair becomes the best chair the CPMA president has ever had. But all joking aside on that, the past chairs never leave. And as long as they're active in the industry, they have a seat around the CPMA board table. And that's truly what does make our association foundationally strong, is the history, the knowledge, and the support that's always there. So I think, Mike, you hit something bang on. It's the strength and it's the value that all of our past chairs bring to the organization and support the incoming chairs and current chairs moving forward. Sam, you mentioned earlier when we were chatting around some of the success you had as marketing chair. Mike mentioned about launch a Half Your Plate under Bernadette's term. That was done while you were chair of the marketing committee, and the work that you pulled together to bring the concept of Half Your Plate forward. Part of these successes you've seen through CPMA, where do you see your next step going in your mandate as chair in the coming year?
That's still a big part of my mandate, which it's close to my heart, obviously. But it's not just that it's close to my heart. It's the right thing for our association to do. Help drive consumption, to bring awareness to our customers, to all of our customers out there, and to the general public, to let them know how important it is to fill half their plate with fruit and vegetables. So that's certainly one of my mandates. And, I have already alluded to it, but, I want to continue with the work that, and I keep bringing it back, but the work that you and Michael and the entire team has done in government relations. We can't stop. We need to be persistent. We need to continue to be on the Hill. We need to, and not just on the Hill, I talk about government relations, but even the provincial governments, we've been able to open some doors there over the past 12, 18 months, and we have to continue to pursue those doors that are relatively open to us and continue to work on that. And then again, we need to continue with the education. It's so important. It's such a quick-moving industry. Michael, I'm certain you will agree with me on this. It's very difficult to find the people that have the knowledge in the produce business and that stay with it for as long as, what you say, Michael, you've been in it 40 years? Well, I'm not too far behind you. So
yeah, I know you're not, Sam, but
it's true, Michael, and you know what I'm saying, that it's we have to find a way to engage young people into our business, into our industry, and keep them there.
Sam and Mike, you guys are bringing up a key point, and it's how do you validate the knowledge? Because here we are as an industry, we're seeing a different path for people to come to fresh produce. It's not through the traditional means of, I came from the farm, or I worked from the, produce department all the way up, and I have that core knowledge of 15 years. Now we're bringing people in an expectation of 6 months, 7 months. They should have validated background and knowledge to be able to do a job. So do you think the CPMA education strategy is going to address some of that?
Ron, that's going to definitely help. The industry, though, what's amazing about the industry is that there's thousands of us in it. And Sam, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, that was never my intent, was to be in the produce business. But at the same time, I can't think of wanting to do anything that was more rewarding than being in the produce business, because it's been such an exciting career. And it's how do we get that knowledge passed on and getting people engaged so that they understand how exciting this business can be. Now, we can teach them the basics, but it's to be able to energize them and give them that opportunity to learn from something. So we have that path to performance that is also at the convention, which gives the younger people in our industry the opportunity for mentorship, and that is also a great place because they get to meet people that have been around that can introduce them, can get them involved, and so there's an opportunity for us to continue to pass that knowledge down.
And now it's time for a quick break of the conversation to hear from our sponsor. And I'm joined by Ray from Nature Fresh. So Ray, I understand it's a very busy time of year in the greenhouse industry in general. And so what's life like at Nature Fresh right now?
Everything is firing on full cylinders right now. Every commodity and every category is in full swing at Nature Fresh Farms. In our greenhouses, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, and specialty tomatoes can be found in many markets within Canada and within southern Ontario especially. Quality and taste and flavor is at its finest right now. Consumers will find an array of activity occurring at the retail stores over the next 3 to 4 weeks with in-store promotions, activity being executed by the Ontario Greenhouse Growers Association in conjunction with the retail support. Watch out for your local grower at the retail stores and say hello to them. They're out there promoting your product during a busy time of the year.
And back to the conversation.
Guys, when you mentioned the services that CPMA offers, and from your experience on the board and as chair and incoming chair, I guess I'll ask you, what are your thoughts on the importance of some of those other services and tools? When we look at CPMA, we have our label review service, we have our issue management service, we have our border services where if someone has an issue with product crossing the Canadian border, we can help support their issue by finding out why the product is stopped and delivering the right contacts so that they can hopefully open up that shipment so that it can get to where it's going. All of these pieces that I don't know if a lot of members are aware of, but are vital to the industry. So beyond the labeling and the education and our border services focus, what are your thoughts on the importance of these and other tools at CPMA?
Simply put, has anybody ever tried to read a government document? This morning, I was dealing with Sally because she was helping me address an issue that I have with the producer. They want to be a supplier, but they haven't got all of the right certifications for us yet. So try to find that in the CFIA manual. Well, Sally took care of it for me. She sent me, and I know what I'm doing within this because I've been doing this in the organization for over 12 years. But I still needed Sally this morning to help me get the data that I wanted to be able to share with this grower or producer. That alone is worth my membership. That one item alone covered my membership today because we're going to be able to move this project forward. And If I was fumbling around, I would have just given up in frustration because it's not easy to locate that kind of information. But we have the expertise at the CPMA, or we know who to ask. In this case, Sally's our expertise, but if she wasn't sure, she would have had a contact with the government that she could have at least presented me with so that I could have reached out to them. But instead of me spending half a day trying to find this document, I got it, boom. That's just one of the many services over and above what you mentioned, Ron.
Agreed. You know what I always say, there's some out there saying, and especially in a changing world where associations and the value proposition is perhaps being lost on some of the new companies entering the market and new individuals. Sam, how do you think we can address that with some of these new entries so that they recognize and understand the true value of what CPMA offers? How do we introduce the association to them?
The best way that we're going to be able to do that, the only way to get our message out there is hopefully all the people that will hear this podcast that we're doing today and all of our members, we have to make sure that they believe in the association, which I'm certain that they do, and we need them to help us communicate the message to the masses. I spoke earlier about social media. Well, there's obviously one way that we can do it. Michael, our association with Michael Smith, there's another one. The more that we can bring awareness, the public's awareness to the CPMA, the easier it will be for us to help those little guys who really don't know about us. And the more we can get that message out, with the help of social media, with the help of our CPMA members, and on just ourselves, that's the way that we're going to get a better buy-in and have more people look to us for the answers.
We are launching at the convention our new 5-year plan that focuses on connect, advocate, and grow. 3 key areas that help support the growth and development of the industry. Sam, I'll start with you, and Mike, I'll ask you second. Why do you think it's important that CPMA focus on these 3 key areas of connect, advocate, and grow?
Ron, that's probably the easiest question you've asked, and it may sound difficult, but it's not. Those are just the foundations of our association. Those are the things that our members are going to be able to look to as a resource, as our voice to the industry, as our voice to government, as our voice to the consumer. And those are the things that's going to help to move this produce industry to the next level. We've all alluded to the fact that how fast things are moving today. And by having those 3 as our foundation, then that's going to help us move along with the way the world is moving. And the way things are moving so quick, if we don't have those as a foundation and something that we can rely on, then we're going to be left behind. And it's very important that we continue to use those 3 that are our foundation for the next 5 years. But I'm certain, Ron, that they'll be for the 5 years, but they'll also be for the next decade as well.
I think you're bang on, Sam. I think they're key to programs, to overall focus. And Mike, I guess I'll ask you the question. How do you see and where do you see this going for us?
This may sound like an easy answer, but how do I add to that? Sam covered it off perfectly. This is our 5-year plan. It's the basis for our operations. It's the reason that we exist. And yeah, it's 5 years, but it's going to continue on. Without it, the industry would suffer.
Is there anything either of you would like to add or any comments to wrap things up?
Well, first of all, it's been an honor for me to be able to be the chair for a year. And I know that I'm moving on, but as you said, I'll be in the bullpen and I'm passing it on. Our new starting pitcher is going to be very strong for us as well, and I feel confident that the association is going into good hands, good leadership. And I know that the board behind Sam will give him the same support that I received, and that he will find invaluable. And again, also the support that he receives from the CPMA staff. It's amazing what you're going to find out, Sam, about some of these kids or young people and what their interests are. I look forward to your comments in Toronto.
My thoughts. Well, Michael's going to take it from a different approach because he's still the chair as we have our friend Jason taping this. So he's going to take it from that approach, and I'm going to take it from a different approach. And I'm going to thank Mike for all of his hard work, and I'm going to thank the entire association and all of our members. Thank you for being members, because without you, we're not here. And we need to grow this membership. We need to get the word out there. Michael, you've done a great job. We're certainly on our way, and the membership continues to be strong. And I just want to continue to advocate that it gets stronger and that we get the voice out there. And thanks to everyone, the entire CPMA staff, the board of directors, and all of our members. So that's how I'd like to leave that one, Ron.
Thanks, guys. Well, on that, let's wrap it up. Mike, thank you for all your work over the past year. And Sam, I look forward to working with you in the coming year. It should be exciting to see where we go from all the good work that was done in the past and what can be done in the future. Thanks, guys.
And that's it. That's all that we have for you this month on Produce Talks. It was great to hear from Ron, Mike, and Sam. I'd like to thank them very much for being on the podcast, and I'd like to thank you for listening. As always, I'd like you to make a healthy choice. Fill half your plate with fruits and veggies.